Good evening to you. And just to say we are live on Facebook. Joy 99.7 FM Facebook page. Live on YouTube. Live on X. And special shout out. Special shout out to Brigadier General Kwame Riafe. Brigadier General Kwame Riafe. Special shout out to you. If you're listening and you happen to know him, send him a message. Nana Ansah Kwao says, big shout outs to him. Kwabna Oforidan Sunisen, aka Olongong, from DC, from DigiCraft. I see you. Malik in Adenta, I see you. Ajiman Joseph in there in the mix. Kofi of Vandals Shipping inside Community 25, I see you. Stephen Jampo from Kofrodia, you were present. Pascal Gupado from Wager. Ni Tojo from Tema Newtown. All the folks in the Dodoa, special greetings to Kukrubo himself. Nana Sapon from Ahafu, Kenya say, it's good to hear your voice again. Laurentia in Nungwa, good evening to you. Clarissa Big Mos Wallace. Clarissa and Maud Lillian, Sakumono Estates. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, and there he is, Odote Ni Odote, listening from Achimbosume. Francis in Accra. Thanks for tuning in. Francis, you made me laugh. Ebenezer Adesido, Cape Coast. Mondays without, that's my opinion. Kumo from Sasabi. Good evening to you, brother. Brigadier General Kwame Riafe. Fresh Brigadier General. Well done. Well done on your promotion. Proud of you. Keep up the good job, bro. Frederick Frimpong Bafi, OEB Estate. Jojo listening from Race Course. Nana, I salute you and I salute you back. Ekolima listening from Abokobi. January fee, you need to stay tuned because someone make an so stay tuned. That's a very controversial opinion, but if I'm engineer regiment, my boss says playtime is over. So you need to take this number down because at the end of my pitch, you can only send messages. You won't be able to call. So take this number down: 055 1111 997. 055 1111 997. You will definitely want to agree or disagree. So keep the number. Folks, but we start the way we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello, and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa, and I say thank God it's Monday. Another fine opportunity to meet up as one people and perform radio's finest ritual. A ritual I call That's My Opinion. Now, our topic today, folks, it's soldier time. Yes, you heard me right. It's soldier time. So let's all gather and make truth good. It's soldier time. It's a very uncomfortable topic. As soon as you say soldier, it's a very uncomfortable topic, but it must be hard. Folks, there are many examples of organized and developed countries which we wish and aspire to be like. And indeed, many of the things that we yearn for are not rocket science. With discipline, with a sense of purpose, and an inclusive political culture rather than the divisive politics that we practice, it can be done with great speed because we must catch up. We need to catch up. There is something about Ghana, there's something about the Lone Star which does not give you that sense of being at the bottom. You have to be there amongst the greats. And hence, the frustration and some of the complaints and bitterness about the average Ghanaian is that you must be up there. But we can't. We can't. Folks, once upon a time, whenever there was a major road contract, We looked for foreign contractors. They had the capacity, or sometimes the money came from their governments, and so as part of the conditions, you had to give it to a contractor who was aligned to their country. So, Germany, you bring German contractors to come and construct the road. They take their money, send it straight back to where the money came from, and then they come back and get the money, their loans back. I mean, that was it. So there was the need to build up local contractors. And I remember during the Rawlings era, some contractors were selected and were given soft loans to beef up their capacity. And the trend began where local contractors had enough equipment to tackle any project. Somehow, folks, we have gone through a period of poor quality roads. You drive on it today, it's all black. 2 weeks later, it's filled with potholes. Maybe, should I say, we have endured poor quality road. And this has cost us dearly. Folks, it has cost us dearly. I mean, considering the actual cost of just constructing the roads in this part of the world, which I keep saying over and over and over, that the average cost per kilometer in this part of the world is a bit high. And those who are within the road fraternity would definitely attest yampa. Folks, apart from that, what we get at the end, if we calculated the extra time to travel back in the 70s, 80s, when they had less powerful cars than what we have today, somebody could travel from Kumasi to Accra in 3.5 hours. Today, with the money, with the expansion and the civilization and everything, you're lucky to do it in 6 hours. You're lucky. If you can clear it in 5-6 hours, udanyamiase. If we add up the cost of repairs to our cars, links, shocks, all that, if we add those costs, folk, health issues by just traveling on the roads, your back, your waist, the stress you go through by just traversing a 2-3 kilometer road. And if it's your daily routine, you have no idea. The mental torture, just thinking that, oh shoot, the last 3 kilometers again. How do I get from my house to the main road? Driving through puddles, jumping, clinking. Folks, it's like we are fulfilling a curse. Somebody cast a curse on us and we are fulfilling it. Now, I always say if the politics is wrong, folks, it's very hard to get things right. Once you get the politics wrong, everything that follows becomes very difficult. But we must try. Folks, we must try because the world is leaving us behind. So we have no choice but to try. Folks, at the recent mid-year budget reading, the finance minister said he had allocated 70 billion for the big pushes, like big road construction revolution. However, he had only dispersed 6 billion. So the opposition chastised him for only dispersing 6 out of 70. They made a big deal out of it. Why would you only disperse 6 million? You're hanging on to the money. Out of 70 billion, 6 billion. This is a con. Didn't understand it. Folks, it just reaffirmed to me that democracy is really a fraud. It's one of the world's scam. Honestly, it's one of the world's biggest scam. Anybody should know. If anybody should know, it's the opposition. They should know. But instead of asking Why are contractors not submitting certificates for work done to be paid for? The money is sitting there. No contractor is owed. So automatically it means the pay work is slow. The guy has put 7 billion down. Of all this time, 6 billion penamabeji, obviously that's the certificate that has been issued to be paid. So if anybody should know, it's members of the in power before who know that you can only pay for works that have been done. The fact that I put 70 billion down for work doesn't mean I'll carry 70 billion, give it to contractors and say, go and build the road. No, you build the road and say, I've cleared the road, it's 1 million cedis, pay me. I've done my U drains, it's 5 million cedis, pay me. And as you bring the work, I pay. So the question is, why aren't contractors submitting certificates to be paid? That's the question to ask, not to chastise the man who is left money in the pot for people to come and take to go and construct the roads for you and I. Folks, I said in the beginning that we have countries we admire and wish to be like them. And it's all fair and good. Well, you always have to look for best practices. In many cases, we borrow their working manual, visit them and see how things are working and try to emulate. But I say, we should rather borrow the manual of how they got to that admirable state. Folks, forget about the manual they're using to operate now. Let's look at the manual which got them to where they are now. 100% it's not conventional. Folks, 100% it's not conventional. We can't build a nation based on absolute liberalism. Everything is free and anything goes, and it's practically impossible. I know my right. I'll build where I want. I will do what I feel like. How do you build like that? Folks, how do you build like that? Where people think they can just get out and do what they want. Folks, we are here complaining about roads and roads and roads. Finish the big push. You see how many cars will overspeed and just cause extra accidents. You see how many, 1 man 1,000 from, a little town who thinks that now the road is being constructed, cars are driving too fast, gets his pickaxe, dig up the road, makes his own speed ramp. Oh yes, I'm not having a speed ramp because carbon appointment. Anything goes. And you can't tell people off too much because at the end of the day, they have to come out and vote. How do we develop based on this? We may, but how fast can we develop based on this? And I say we have now been addicted to voting. So there's no way of turning back. As for voting, we shall vote. For whatever reason, we'll vote. We will vote for you. Don't give me water. Don't give me any service. But as for the voting, the father can be maba. There's no health post. There are no roads leading to the town. Whatever. But just let me vote. So taking voting away is not on the table. However, we have to think out of the box. How can we still vote and still develop at the same time? How can we vote and still develop at the same time? Because now it's proving to be nothing. There are those who vote and go and sleep. There are those who vote and stay at one point. So he could be in A, and his situation is now getting so much better. But so far as I'm not in your party, I don't care. Abando to be akeke. We should find a way to shake up the system in order to accelerate development. discipline and order. I'm sure this is not news anymore, but the new Accra-Kumasi Highway, 197 kilometers, the clearing part has been given to the Engineer Corps of the Army. And I am amazed with the speed and efficiency with which they have worked. No complaints, no excuses. No complaints, no excuses, just efficiency. Folks, based on that, I strongly propose that all major contracts should be given to the Army. Because with them, folks, issues like I have taken my compensation but I refuse to move, or my illegal structure is there but I'm a party man so I won't move, all that nonsense will stop. Folks, those of you who travel Ashiaman, Michelle Kam towards Afienya, all the people, the shops and buildings by the side of the road apparently had been compensated to move. But for a long time, they were all there. Nobody was moving. Be on Tunica, be on the shop. They're all just there. The contractor is just dancing around them. One morning, they brought a truckload of soldiers, a couple of excavators. That morning, I'm sure between the 6 a.m. and by 1 p.m., everybody was gone. Everybody who had been compensated and did not want to move, order, discipline, efficiency. Meanwhile, the contractor was in and out and court and this and that. In fact, they just brought the army in and cleared it. Just one morning, all cleared. But the contractor too, after they cleared it, after the people came and cleared it, the contractor, I don't know. You go there, they park some 2-3 cars. You don't even know whether they are going or coming. I'm sure they have their excuse or their reasons. But if you look at the efficiency, the discipline, the order with which they cleared the path for him, he's also now stuck. I don't know if he's waiting for the utilities to come and move there, because I still see pylons on in the road path. So maybe waiting for the electricity guys to come and move their pylons. But I'm sure even before then, something can be done to show that there's work going on. So there's just traffic and traffic and traffic. In the mornings, those coming, in the evenings, those going. God help you. God help you. But why should people live like that? All this nonsense won't happen, folks. Let's just allocate the big contract to the army. No one yet. All the main roads. But folks, the beauty about this is that it will also be a good opportunity to expand the 48, 49, 50, and 51 regiment. You can expand it. That's the Engineer Corps of the Army. I mean, these days where the Army is the most desirable career for the youth, it can mop up thousands. Folks, this regiment can mop up thousands. Then we get them to lead the infrastructure development, because already we have a huge deficit, let alone catching up. There's a huge deficit, let alone catching up. And so if we have the youth who are queuing up, buying 100,000 forms only for vacancy of 7,000, then this is an opportunity. This is a good opportunity. Give the money to the army, get them to employ these youth, train them as engineers, and send them out to lead that infrastructure revolution. Because they come in with that deadline, your amount of deadline, so things like it's raining. I mean, look, recently there's a contractor friend I know, right? And he's working, in the Karachi area. And, why? The tipper truck driver says on Saturdays they work 8 to 1. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now, have you married a Krompontambe? Tipper driver, big push. Everybody is trying to meet deadline. They buy you tipper trucks, and as an adult male, you say, "About one, I'll park the truck and go home." So they had lobbied the, HR and CEO and everything to drive all the way to Karachi to go and tell them, Jack, either you work or you find new drivers. But I mean, can you see the mentality? You see the mentality. You are fortunate enough to get a contract in this time where employment is so difficult. When you be gotten brand new air-conditioned trucks. I mean, it's a truck, air-conditioned trucks. Now, crowded then, you're driving, they put the sun in, you come and tip it. Okay, what how they say? 1 o'clock, I'll stop work. And it's the general attitude. I mean, recently, kudos to the guys on the motorway. Now you can see something has gone on, some shake-up has gone up on the motorway. But it used to be dead. The motorway used to be dead, but now every portion you see that there's something. But this, I mean, when you follow the roads minister, as he's moving from side to side, he gets somewhere and he's a broken heart. Why? Nothing is going on. Nothing is going on. People have collected their mobilization instead of buying trucks and graders and rollers and moving to site. Excuses. It's raining. It's this. It's that. Couple of sites he goes and then they are impressed. They are somehow a bit of ahead of schedule or on schedule. But generally, folks, there's that work attitude where you don't see the urgency. And for us, what the whole economy to move depends on road. Because I said we don't have air, we don't have sea, we don't have rail. A majority of our movement depends on road. A majority of the economy depends on road to move. And so now, if there's a big push, well, we need to clear these main roads so we'll be able to move. If you are a contractor and you have a job like that, then you must know that it's a big push and it's not business as usual. And that's why I'm saying, let the army lead the charge. And then the side roads and inner roads, give it to the local contractors. After all, there's still thousands and thousands of kilometers to do. So it's not as if we're going to shortchange you. However, the main roads that are urgent, let's give it to people who work with urgency. And I say the army. After all, it's the state. When they give the money to them, the money then comes back. And like I said, recruitment, opportunity for recruitment. Togo is not going to attack us. Surely we're not on Burkina Faso's list, nor are we on Ivory Coast list. So our challenges are internal. And one of the most, national security challenge we have currently is idle hands. And therefore increase in drug take and everything. If we give them a sense of purpose and mop them up, to lead the charge to develop the nation, we will benefit. Folks, we will benefit. And so, yes, I know it's not a very popular one. But I think it's a practical. Because you need a shake-up in the system to develop. You cannot, we can't develop based on countries' blueprint. You know how they got there? Once upon a time, London was more filthier than Ghana. New York was more filthier than Ghana. But now, they are not. But how did they get there? That's the thing. So if you go there now and see, the bins, the COBF, and everything, so we're also going to start from the bins. No. Find out what they went through before they started getting the bins. The regimental, the discipline, the punishments before the bins started. You create that culture. But we want to miss the culture and just start. But there's only one problem, folks, with my suggestion. In my books, it's the perfect one. In my book, it's the perfect one. But there's only one hiccup. Because I can't see how, you give the army a big contract and then, the minister turn up at the CDS's office to say, me Baba Jimmy kickback. Hey, kickbacks. If you pay the army to construct a road, there's no kickback. There won't be any kickback. But I think that's a sacrifice. After all, there will be kickback in the local roads. So, just leave the main road kickback, the kickback be a because but maybe the private contractors doing the inner roads in India, you can go and get kickbacks from there. That's one of the reasons why I think they would not, choose the army as the first option. But other than that, folks, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that if they've compensated the shops, they've compensated houses on the road, they've given you your 21-day notice, if the military bulldozer is coming, they will move. They will move. Because we need this to clear the town, for the town to breathe, for the economy to breathe and even grow further. Because at the moment we are just stifled and choked. We are stifled and choked. Look, right on the motorway, right on the motorway. There's a car dealer, I don't know whether it's the 18 junction somewhere. If you're going towards Tema, it's on the left. If you're coming, it's on the right. He's refusing to move. It's a challenge. Car dealer. Yeah, Accra Tema motorway. And he thinks that his shop has a more priority than Accra Tema motorway. Can you imagine if the 48 or 49 engineer corps was moving? Kabana otitu dikasi nyina kusifie. Watutu ni nyina kusifie. But we need that discipline, we need that order, we need that efficiency to speed up things and then build that culture. See, so that we build that culture. We must, we have to. And like I'm saying, the one of our national security issues in the country now is idle hands, youth that are not doing anything. It's a bigger national security. And that's what the army is there for, to help us during national security problems and also intervene when there's development. So it falls within their mandate. We don't have any external issues. Our issues are internal. So let them solve it. Let them solve it. One of the reasons why the army can't expand is because money. But now if they have contracts and they're being paid, they can expand. And expand on a really, really positive note. I don't know what the statistics is, but I'm sure we need about 1 million kilometers of U-drains. I'm sure we need about 1 million kilometers of U-drains. Almost all inner roads need doing. Lots of inner roads need doing. We are behind. And I am deeply suggesting that when it comes to major infrastructure, let's let the army lead it. For efficiency, for speed, for recruitment, for opportunity. Hi, Nana. It says on this topic, thousands and even millions of Ghanaians will agree with you. But politicians and people go to their houses to beg for money and make a living out other than corrupt act will not agree with you. Even our lawyers, Nana, let us even add the use of the thunder god to police our public purse. As anyone going to state office swears and put his or her life and that of his children and family on the line. Nana, by this, will develop at speed of light for good of the masses. Francis in Accra. This is good evening, Nana Ansah Kwao of the Little Republic of Edumasa. This is heart-aching topic from Ni Mensa Fio Benjamin. Tema Newtown. Send me your messages 055 1111 997. This one says, Nana, a teacher comes to school late and leaves early. You question them and they get angry. In an attempt to report them to the higher authorities, they have the same authority to rescue them. This is the system currently in place. God help us. From Stephen Jampo, Kofori. 055 1111 997. Send your messages in and let me read it out. Nana, I couldn't agree with you more. Given the major road contracts to the military, there was a plan by the late defense minister for the creation of a holding company for the military to undertake such projects. But I suppose after his unfortunate passing, that plan has been put on hold. Okay. It's called the Defense Industries Holding Company. Oh. Folks, you see, I am proposing this to say that, you see, anytime things, anytime you need to move things, you can't always go by the book. So the road contractor comes and the guy says they won't move the house. They take a petition to court and then they give a waiting for their hearing, and then there's another day for appeal, and then he reveals the appeal, says I'll go Supreme Court. You can't develop like that, folks. Go to me. One for buga and fama. Yes, people would. Nobody's right will be infringed on, but impunity would cut so that you don't sit down, negotiate a compensation, take it, and then refuse to move and say, I'll go to court. And then the court says, oh, no, you feel, oh, well, I'll go to appeal. And then you have to say, well, Metro Supreme Court. For months, the whole nation is on hold because the guy won't move his blue kiosk or he's not going to break down his church. Shake the system and move up. I tell a story of when Nkrumah took over and most of the colonial guys had left. So there was a lot of vacancy within the civil service. So what he did was, instead of you going to school for 4 years before you graduate, so 3 years, every time you have to do something to fill a gap. So 3 years, finish school and come and let's move. Now that's our problem. Someone used royal degrees, slave laborers, and draconian measures to develop theirs, then turn around and tell us to use democracy to develop ours. And we foolishly jumped at it. Lord have mercy. Odote ni odote. When you're developing, folks, I saw do nice for. Foot down, point in the right direction, let's charge. And let's charge on. Till this date, folks, we've never seen in the news or in the newspaper about people in the assemblies who gave planning permission to people building in the wrong areas. They're still there collecting pay and they'll probably get a pension. If we have seen them arraigned, following to their own prisons, then it will deter the others. If you don't shake the system, it can't be business as usual. That people would, have some chief sell flat lands. They have the assembly watch the flat land get filled. The planners watch it develop, and they are all free. They break the house down. The woman will come and cry, my husband is dead. I have 6 children. I can't feed them. And you're breaking my house down. Yeah, so because of my house, it's okay. Let the whole area flood. Sometimes you don't even understand it. But all the looker-ons, nothing happens. Folks, let's give it to the army. Let's give it to the army. Now, I support the military takeover road contracts in Ghana. See how the two contractors on the Dowenya Road are snail working. I feel sad about it. Thank you. It's John Boa. Yes. I mean, anytime I'm talking about contract issues, I'm careful, kakra, because it's technical and you don't know what's going under or above it, everything. However, folks, if the thing is slow, it's slow. For years. For years. You see like some 2-3 cars be. And if you look at the length of the road, you should know that this road should have like 20 tipper trucks, maybe 5 graders, maybe 3 rollers. I mean, you should see something, say, action be required, but you don't see anything. Hence, the finance minister is there. He's put 70 billion in a pot, 6 billion pen on Mabechi. That's all they've done. That's how much work they've done, because there's money sitting there. So if you've done 20 billion, you take your money and go. You take the money and go. So it's the worry. It's a big worry, and it's probably exposing, our local contractors. It's probably exposing them. Why aren't you coming? Why aren't you bringing certificates? Why aren't you bringing certificates? Need Tojo from Newtown. We are not angry enough for Ghana's growth. Too much indiscipline in the system. We don't like Ghana, but we want to go to heaven. This is our heaven. And we must create our own heaven. It's 055 1111 997. Nana, I am fully with you on this, especially the construction of self-determined speed ramps. My proposal is that the chiefs of the area should be taken on. This destroys the roads and in the end, destroys the road in the end. Already we don't have the money to build the roads. What a country. Godwin from Canada. Godwin, I tell you what, the speed ramp, Godwin, when they build it, the chief will drive on it, DCE will drive on it, police commander will drive on it. Even when you have the presidential visit and come into the area, they also drive on that speed ramp. Tell us how free people are to build the speed ramp. And like with my road from Akosombo to Edumasa, thank God we've been allocated big push and they're doing the road. And I keep telling my assemblyman that please engage your assemblymen along this stretch. Whoever wants any speed rumbles or whatever it is done, because you can't let this contractor leave and then you come and dig this road, because until Jesus comes again, I don't think this road will ever see any other contractor. This is our last road till we leave this earth. Until we must make it last. So like you're saying, Godwin, like you say, I don't know how much the chiefs can get involved. I mean, certainly you'll be on your speed ramp for me chrome there, but it's worrying. And do you know what they do? They actually dig. You have to make a crack in the tarmac, in the bitumen, make a crack in it, pack stones in it, and then pack sand on it. And so gradually, you destroy the road. Considering it's costing us $1 million per kilometer on the average. $1 million per kilometer on the average. And then Joe Blocks will just dig the road and say, why speed ramp? Why? A car born a punchy or car born a cocoa. We never ever stopped to ask, what was your goat doing in the road? We never stopped to ask, what was your goat doing in the road? But then they'll dig it. Hi, Nana, on the money sitting in the accounts and the road contractors are not coming in, it's a clear sabotage and Ghanaians must take them on. The issue of military taking our roads and development projects. Same happened in the Bible as Nehemiah did and got the walls of Jerusalem built in 52 days in a battle mind and mentality. I think we push this until we see it. We should push this until we see it done. Joy FM should bring this to the Super Morning Show and bring the minds of Ghanaians to it. Francis in Accra. Nana, I am fully with you on this, especially the construction of self-determined speed ramps. Oh, I read that. And this one says, Nana, let us crusade against this seriously. Folks, it's a serious issue. Once upon a time, we're giving the jobs to Chinese people, giving the jobs to foreigners and everybody. Oh, what then? Didn't we have local capacity? Why don't we build our own local capacity? We all championed and trumped. Oh, it's not right. It's not right, because if the white guy or the foreigner comes to build a road, you give them this 70 billion, man, they're taking about 30-40% of that 70 billion away. So now, let's keep it in-house. Lo and behold, somehow we have the money now. And guess it. Guess what? For certificate, Brabe Jessica. Once upon a time, you could finish a road, bring a certificate, and wait for 2-3 years. The contractors were saying some of their colleagues were dying of broken heart attack. Banks were chasing them. The fuel guys were chasing them because the state wasn't paying. And then, they have to build on the interest. I mean, there was a lot of complaints once upon a time where contractors would do a road, they go and borrow money, do a road, and they were not getting paid. Here we are, 70 billion in a pot. More magic. Oliver, Nana Ansah Kwao IV, and the legendary Ziggy, international producers on the ones and twos. Always good to be back. I know today if the phones were working, Kamumba can be pa. But folks, until next Monday, God willing, we'll be back to do this all over again.